I am back. I'm back on the Wrestling Channel again. I haven't been seen in 5 months. I've done a CM Punk, and I've left the channel, and I've been away for a while. And I just haven't been feeling like doing wrestling videos for a while because again I lost my interest in talking wrestling online because if I talk about it, people are like, "Oh my god," whatever. So I'm like, whatever. But I want to talk about this topic and talk about, has AEW peaked in nearly 4.5 years in existence? Now you look at 2018. Let's start back at 2018. All Out 2018. We had the Bucks, Cody. They did All In, a big independent show from was funded from New Japan, Ring of Honor, and other little indie feds that all funded this All In big indie pay per view called All In. Tony Khan was allegedly there. All AEW is 4 months later. They bring in a couple of signings like Kenny Omega. Jericho comes in, whatever. So 4 years in, they bring CM Punk back they bring Punk back to wrestling. They're like, oh shit. 2021 was their best year to bring Punk in. They do some of the great stuff in 2021. They filled out the United Center with 20,000 fans. They did Arthur Ashe, the first time that they've ever done a tennis court, that they've ever done a show in a tennis arena. 20,000 in Arthur Ashe. They do great pay-per-view buy rates. CM Punk then becomes world champion a year later. And then all this bullshit comes out about, what's Colt Cabana banished to Ring of Honor because of CM Punk. And that's where it all kind of spiraled out of control. Mid 2022, when you had the Bucks, Hangman Page, Colt Cabana leaking all this shit out to the media, saying, "Oh well, Colt Cabana has been demoted to Ring of Honor because CM Punk." When that was bullshit, and we all know it was all those EVPs that were protected, and we had those backstage brawls. But you go into today's AEW, and the ratings are still the same in 4.5 years. They haven't gone past 1.4 million viewers since their debut episode nearly 4 years ago. They haven't increased their base. Their base is still the hardcore fan base. Oh, Forbidden Door, Forbidden Door. Their attendances have decreased since Punk is gone. The biggest draw. Look at the last pay-per-view. The last pay-per-view, it was in a 17,000 seat arena. Now I know that in arenas there's caps, so most of them are like for family, whatever. But they only sold out 9,000 seats for Revolution a couple of weeks ago. 9,000 seats in a 17,000 seat arena. They're struggling to sell tickets. They're doing 2-for-1s online. That if you get a ticket, you can get another one, and multiple offers to sell tickets because they're having trouble selling tickets. The storylines are mid. The Dynamite is not must watch TV. It's not must see anymore, and it's all about New Japan and Ring of Honor and AAA and DDT Pro Wrestling, stuff that doesn't fucking matter. What should matter is building AEW, and AEW has peaked. This is going to be the peak of AEW. You're not going to have, a big growth in AEW anymore, because I never ever see a wrestler in AEW ever do media. I think they did it in the first couple of weeks they were starting TV, and that was it. Ever since they lost Cody Rhodes, much as I have heat with Cody Rhodes from the shit he said years ago, he was the glue that held AEW together, and he was the one that was trying to branch AEW out to bigger and better things. You have a coked-up billionaire, Tony Khan, and these EVPs that do not know how to run a business, that are in job positions that they're not qualified to be in. You've got 3 independent wrestlers, the Bucks and Kenny, who have been on the independent scene the majority of their careers, and they have never been in an executive position. You have too many people on your roster. You have Tony Khan, who again is a fucking child online. He's like, oh my god, God forbid if you don't know who a wrestler is, and he comes into AEW, and you're like, Tony, why are you bringing this guy in, or this girl in? Like, they're not signed to AEW. And Toad's like, well, you know what? The good wrestlers, yeah, 95% of your wrestlers are good roster. You know, you take away your MJS and your Jay Cargills and your Wardlows and your Powerhouse Hobbs. You take away all those guys and girls I just mentioned. 95% of your roster is just a bunch of indie guys that do flips and kicks and dives, that talk the same, act the same, do the same shit, and you have Excalibur come in and he's on commentary, he's having a fucking seizure going, oh my god, it's Will Ospreay. When in reality, when New Japan has been on TV, they can barely get NXT numbers. They're getting under. They don't even get even TNA numbers. TNA get 100,000 viewers. They rarely get that. What they get 89,000, 90,000 fans on Access TV. But you want to do Forbidden Door. In reality, only a small niche of fans care about the Forbidden Door. If you want to grow as a company, how about you actually build some more stars and actually help your actual homegrown AEW talents instead of going on online and arguing with fucking fans. Again, the difference between Dixie Carter and Tony Khan, yes, they were both idiots and they was both fucking green as grass in the wrestling business. But you look at Dixie Carter and she had a lot of flaws in her tenure in the wrestling business, but she would never want to go online and say and talk bad about the fans. She would say stupid shit like we're cash flow positive and all that bullshit, but she would never go out and say, oh well, if you don't know this wrestler, this and that. No. Again, there's too many people. AEW need to have some riders. They need to actually get some riders in, and they need to actually get their heads out of their ass. Not this whole thing of 5-star match here, 5-star match there. Nobody gives a fuck about 5-star matches. It's about characters and seeing if these guys and girls can actually cross over, like you've seen recently the last couple of weeks. MJF did Impractical Jokes on TBS. Like, that's great things for AEW. But again, stop bringing in these guys and girls that don't draw shit. Juice Robinson came in from New Japan. Wow, he came in to feud with Ricky Starks. Again, is another star that you fucking botched. Miro, again, don't know what to do with him. There's too many people on your roster. You've got the EVPs playing politics. Anything negative what happens to AEW. If it's anything like where's Miro or or the storylines are bad, there's always Jericho or the Bucks or Tony going online and saying, telling the fans shut the fuck up, or there's always a journalist who's making up bullshit saying Miro doesn't want to, he's turning down creative, when it's fucking bullshit. The fact of the matter is that this company is not going to grow any further than it has. It's grown its peak. You're going to get 9,000 viewers to a million viewers, and that's about it. You're not going to grow and get casual viewers. This is your audience. It's all about catering to the hardcore fan base, which is okay, but again, this is not Ring of Honor. This is actually mainstream television. Like, you're on primetime TV for 2 hours. You should be engaging more people into your product, making the product more entertaining. I don't want to see a 53-year-old Chris Jericho in the ring anymore. Yes, he's a legend. I like Chris Jericho. He's one of my favorites of all time, but I don't want to see him in the ring. He's taking up TV time for Miro and Ricky Starks and all the other guys that could actually benefit and help AEW in the long term. I'm tired of seeing all these New Japan guys and these AAA guys and all these other fucking guys from these promotions that do not help AEW in the viewership. Don't give them a help anywhere else, to get a million viewers and everybody's happy. Nobody ever talks about the ratings, and these alleged wrestling journalists never talk about the ratings. It's always, oh well, the reason why AEW's ratings were bad is because of an NBA game. Stop making excuses for that. Because if this was WWE, and I don't want to talk about WWE in this video because it's not about WWE, but if this was WWE and people making shit excuses for that, you got people saying, oh, you're a WWE stooge. Again, be consistent with what you're saying. Again, Tony Khan is a petulant child that has a shit ton of money, doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't know how to manage his company. We've seen that in the last couple of months with the whole Punk thing, the whole Sammy Guevara thing, and Eddie Kingston thing, and other things with Miro recently. He's just a fucking money mark that's like, oh my god, my dream promotion is Ring of Honor with New Japan and ECW spread into it, and then he's going online saying Ariel Helwani's a bullshit journalist. Ariel Helwani is the only guy in 4 years to call your shit out, Tony. And because he's not giving you a hand job and he's not saying, oh my god, this is great, this is the best shit ever, you don't like it. So again, you'll never ever go on Ariel Helwani's podcast again, because Ariel Helwani won't take you to bullshit. He isn't going to be in like the Nutzers of the world and the Alvarezes of the world. And Tony Khan is a reflection of the EVPs. I'm tired of people sticking for Tony Khan saying, oh my god, I feel sorry for Tony Khan. Tony Khan is the reason why that this company is going to be the way it is, and it's going to stay the way it is, because again, he is a reflection of the EVPs and Sammy Guevara and Eddie King and Sammy Guevara and all these other guys who are toxic backstage. It won't grow to the big mainstream audience that it should be. The only thing that's happened in 4.5 years is that the salaries have got 10 times bigger for those independent for those guys who was working indies 5-6 years ago.